Hey there, my name is David and I'm a farmer. I took an interest in agriculture about 3 years ago, but I'm only now ready to get into the business of agriculture. This video is the first of many, where I'll be sharing my experience, knowledge, progress, and challenges as a crop and livestock farmer from Nigeria's food basket of the nation. Please stay tuned and subscribe. So if it's not obvious already, this was my livestock setup about a year ago. This particular structure housed a few goats, as you might have noticed from the beginning of the video, and a number of pigs, particularly the large white Yorkshire breed, which is the most commonly bred in Nigeria. But I had a special project creator, a female Duroc. Her name was Gaia.
Gaia, the beast is here. Calm down. Relax.
At the time of making this video, Gaia was about 2 years old. She had undergone 4 insemination attempts, all unsuccessful. We even tried countless times to crossbreed her with any of the large white males in the farm, but all without success. She eventually got pregnant after she was taken to another farm for natural service from another purebred Duroc. But a few weeks to delivery, she died mysteriously. We later discovered that she had about 8 piglets in that litter. As if that was not enough, we had a little challenge where one of the trees in the farm fell and destroyed some part of the structure of the farm. And so we had to start all over again. The renovation turned out to be a good opportunity, not just to upgrade the pen, but to fix a few issues we previously had, replacing worn-out wooden columns, fixing some parts of the roof that were leaking, automating the water supply, etc. To do this, we had to pull down the entire roofing structure and start working on it afresh, as you can see in the video. In the interim also, we made makeshift arrangements for the remaining large white pigs so that they will not be uncomfortable during the entire renovation process. So this is what the pen looked like when we were done with the roofing. So unlike the previous structure where we had some openings at different points, we had to convert the entire thing into one mega structure where we have the roofing covering all parts. So you enter from one entrance and you can do everything you need to do within the farm without having to be subjected to heat from the sun or even rain. Next was automating water supply to the entire pig farm. To do this, we had to lay new pipelines around the entire pig structure and then drill holes all through the individual stalls and do the appropriate fittings on the other side, which were basically installing nipple drinkers on the other end. So these were the nipple drinkers we got, and here's what they look like individually. Next up, we installed solar-backed electricity bulbs to ensure illumination around the clock. So here's what that looked like. Next, we had to adjust the built-in feeding and water troughs. This is because for the bedding we had in mind, the troughs we already had needed to be a bit elevated to serve more effectively. So for some of the stalls, we had to move the water troughs from the front to the back to just go underneath the nipple drinkers to ensure that whenever water would drop when the pigs drink, there's a drainage pipe to allow it to go outside. While for some of the feeding troughs, we had to elevate them a little to be able to give allowance for the bedding. So this process, as simple as it sounds, took the entire day and we ended up finishing at night. And if you can see, the lighting we were referring to before came in handy and it offered proper illumination, and we eventually finished this around sometime after 8 p.m. that day. Next was bedding. What is bedding, you might ask? It is basically anything you add to the flooring of the pig pen or the farm to improve comfort, warmth, and hygiene because it absorbs moisture. For us, we use sawdust. So this is basically the byproduct of woodwork and milling. So you just need to find your way to any timber shade close to you and you'll be able to get this. It's usually free, but you just pay people who will help you move and load the bags and help you load them onto the truck pretty much. So we actually did a total of 2 trips back and forth, and I think we were able to get a total of about 29 bags of sawdust. Meanwhile, special shout out to my guy Makalele, the guy on yellow. He helped me do everything here basically. I just had to just sit down and relax. So whenever you happen to be looking for sawdust, if you're in Benue, just find your way to the timber shade opposite the national market and just ask for Makalele and you're pretty much covered. So yeah, this was the entire loading process, and yeah, I was so surprised that this number of bags could fit in this small truck, but oh well, these people really do wonders there. So next up was the cleaning and disinfecting. So we took our time to wash and disinfect the floors and even the walls, washing it thoroughly to ensure that there's no form of germs or anything left there before the new pigs are introduced. After that, the floors were mopped thoroughly and allowed to dry. Then came the beddings. So the reason why we opted for this kind of bedding is to ensure that we have minimal contact in the farm. So basically with sawdust, we remove the process of cleaning so frequently. So human interaction is very minimal, and the sawdust assists to ensure that the moisture content in the waste is absorbed, almost completely eliminating any kind of odor. I can promise you, you can relax in this farm for several hours and you wouldn't even feel uncomfortable. So the bigger store here is the farrowing store, which is basically where we keep the expecting as well as the just littered sows. And then the smaller stores have been designated for the males, the boas, as well as the other glits. That's the female pigs that are yet to be pregnant or give birth. Finally, the D-Day arrived, and this was us on our way to go and pick up delivery of the pigs. So fun fact, because of the weather, pigs are usually transported either early in the morning or late at night to ensure that they are not subjected to too much heat. And this is particularly so for long distance transportation. So for us, we had difficulty finding pure breed, so we had to request from a farm in a different local government entirely, and the pigs arrived early in the morning. This was around 7 a.m, 8 a.m, I think. So this time around, we opted for male and female Duroc pigs, as well as male and female landrace pigs, in addition to the large white pigs we already had on the farm. Basically, we have about 3 different breeds on the farm. So we initially placed them in the farrowing store to have all of them acquaint themselves with the farm, and eventually we'll transfer all the males to one stall, all the females to another stall. So if you can't tell, the Duroc are the brown pigs while the white ones are the land races. So if you can see from here, the Duroc pigs are smaller in size than the land races, because the Duroc pig at the time of making this video, they were about 2 months, slightly 2 months, while the land races were about 3 months thereabout. So after settling, we gave them food, and for us, we start with Chikum Super Starter. It's actually a livestock feed for chickens, but we use that for our starter pigs just for a while before we start mixing proper meals for them. So the funny thing is that in the course of separating them, for each time one pig was taken out of the general store, the pig would just keep screaming because he didn't want to be alone, because he had been used to the company through the journey all the way to this farm. So it was not until we kept them together, or pairs of 2, that they were able to settle down, and here they are eventually fighting over food. So yeah, that was quite crazy. So pigs are actually really very smart animals, and they were able to figure out this nipple drinking system in less than 1 hour of being on the farm. Amazing. Anyways, we hope you found this video informative, insightful, or even motivating. So please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and even share the video. See you in the next one. Msupishi.